So, happy first day of the Paranormal Readathon. I think it's like 10:30 and I haven't read anything or haven't started anything, so so I plan to start The Power of Hades right now, and hopefully I can read all of it and have technically a successful first day. I can't talk because I'm tired, but today was actually like a fun day. So I went to a bookstore, so hopefully I'm inputting that clip here now. It was really fantastic. It was the paperback exchange, and I bought some historical romance novels as well as some paranormal romance. They had a huge mass market, like used section, and it was really fantastic. So I'll leave a link to their website and Instagram below, but I loved it so much. And then I went to the outlets and I bought a new Kate Spade purse, which I don't think anyone probably cares about but me, and I love Kate Spade so much. So yeah, I was actually reading a historical romance novel today and not paranormal, so I'm a bad readathon participant. So okay, I need to go read, and hopefully on Halloween you'll get some more from me that is actually paranormal for this vlog. Okay, bye.
Ladies have come. You have something I want.
Okay, we will talk that later. It doesn't matter. Angelina, just take it. Wow, Mikey! That's mommy. Wow. Is that for Angelina? Okay, just put it in here for now. It's okay. There's plenty for both of you. Go over there. It's just fun to find them. Yeah. You found something? Put them all up. They're all for you and Mikey. Wow. Sky. And Marshall? Okay, my hand.
So it's day 4. No, is it? It's day 3. It's day 3 of the Paranormal Romance Readathon. It's going really quickly. So Friday was the only day that I actually gave you an actual on-camera update of what I was reading, which at that point was nothing. So I've read 4 things, so very happy. They've all been novella length, so like don't really pat me on the back. So I finished The Power of Hades, and I gave it 2 stars. I did not like this at all much. I think it was a really cool idea, which was what I gave it 2 stars and not 1. And I think maybe it's because I went into it having different expectations of what I was reading than it was. So this did not have a happily ever after or even a happy for now. It's a part of a series, which it bugs me when I like potentially think that it's gonna be like Ahia and then other books. So it follows Persephone, who is nicknamed Percy, which I thought was cute, who is a barista who gets kidnapped by Zeus to compete in the trials to marry Hades and become his next wife. But little does she know that she's Persephone and was once married to Hades and has no longer any memories of that. And everyone's kind of like, we have a lot of characters and a lot of gods, just a lot of personalities going on, and it's hard to like keep it all track. It didn't feel very cohesive. Also, I tried to use the Alexa Reading to Me app, which was great because I was trying to read this late at night, and it's in British English with single quotes instead of two, which, to complain about that and give it a lower rating is like not, I shouldn't be doing that, but it was just like the worst to try and skim, and I really hate how, how do you do that? Single, I skim read to dialogue sometimes because I just want to get through it, and single quotes, like, my eyes just go past them. So it, I think it had a lot of great ideas going on. I think I like the trial aspect of it. I just wanted more time on page with her and Hades, and I think it just had a really slow pacing, even though there was so much going on. I just wanted it to be over, so 2 stars for that. And then what book came next? And then I listened to the audiobook of Devil to Pay, which is actually 3.5 in the Night Hunter series by Janine Frost. It was not on my TBR. I had it from Libro FM. They do an audiobook club through, I think, Avon. It's only Avon books, and they're $3.99 each month. So you don't have to be a Libro FM subscriber credit thing to buy them. But if you are, you also get an additional discount off them. So these aren't using your credits from Libro FM, like Audible credits. You're just buying them outright, but they're so cheap, and that was a novella. So this follows a vampire who is a bit of a recluse, and she finds this guy who she assumes is in trouble, but he's actually possessed by a demon and was on a murderous streak. So she decides she's going to help save this man because he's still the human guy, still alive in there. Obviously they fall in love. I just really loved them, their mutual saving of each other. It was so sweet and was not at all how I expected it to be. I think it was really great and really well written. The audiobook was fantastic, super quick read, and I wanted more from it. Not that that took away from it. I gave it 4 stars, but I wish it was a longer book because I would have wanted to be in it longer, you know? Overall, it was a really great read. I listened to that on Halloween while I was making brownies and doing my makeup, and yeah. You also got a little clip from Halloween. Halloween was really nice for my family. I had went bonkers in Dollar Tree and bought a ton of little treats and made goodie bags for my little niece and nephew, and we did basically an Easter egg hunt. And so it was a little confusing for them because they didn't quite understand the concept of it. But I think they had a really great day. And then my older nephew, who was 14, which makes me feel old, because I was 10 when he was born. So he celebrated his birthday. We got him a cake, and we, did presents, and it was just a lot of fun for family time. So we did that, and then Halloween night I finished reading. I started it probably earlier in the day, and I finished reading Sacrifice by Katie Robert. So this is her new vampire book, and it was really, really good. So sexy and so steamy. I feel I read so many things and I didn't really document them. But this was so great. So this follows a Damper vampire, which if you read Vampire Academy, is in Dampers are half human, half vampires. And her father is a turned vampire who basically gives her to this blooded vampire who's a born vampire, I guess. And he gives her to him to basically be a blood bag and a human, a womb for his future children to continue on his vampire line. And she and him get off to an interesting start. It's also really obviously Katie Robert. Every time a vampire bites her, she orgasms. It is great. And then we have his 2 vampire friends who show up. Lots of things go down. I don't want to spoil that, but really enjoyed it and so excited for the next book in this series because it's going to follow them, and I'm excited. And then, so that's book 3. So book 4 was I think it was 1.5 in the Night Huntress series by Janine Frost, and it's called Happily Never After. Again, another Libro FM purchase. This one I gave it 3 stars. Did I say I gave Sacrifice 4 stars? I did. Did I say it? I don't know. So Happily Never After, I gave 3 stars. This follows a human whose brother has been kidnapped, or so she believes, and by like this Italian mobster. And her grandmother calls in a favor from Bones, who I believe is like a character in the previous Night Huntress books. And she knew him and calls in a favor, and he sends this guy Chance to help the granddaughter. It was fun. I don't love like Italian mobster things just because like I have some Italian family and it just like it always feels a little cheesy to me. And it just, I don't know, it just was like, it was fun. Oh my god, I'm about to fall over. It was fun. Rompy. I don't know, I just didn't feel like the story of this was as good as Devil to Pay. If this felt like a fillery novella, I don't know. It was cute. It was fun. I wouldn't want to be back in a longer book of this the way I would Devil to Pay. But sexy times were fun. I don't know. It was like meh. So I've started another book on audio just because it's the easiest thing to get through, and that is Millionaire Vampire by Carolyn Sparks. I don't know if this was actually in my TBR video. If it was, good on me, because I can't remember. But this is like a bonkers 2005 vampire romance where Roman Dragonesti is a millionaire vampire. He's very powerful, and his like little honcho dudes like in this world, synthetic blood is like a thing, and they're trying to perfect it. And his 2 cronies, so it's like very difficult for a vampire to have a relationship with a human. So his little cronies have gotten a sex doll, and basically they've given her veins so that he can like drink, and it's stupid. So he does, and he gets like really into it, and as he bites this sex doll, his fang comes out. And so they're like, we need to get him to a dentist. And so they find this human dentist, and she's actually in some kind of like crime lord witness protection, and she's like, oh shit, I've just ended up in another like mob situation. Little does she know he's a vampire, and she thinks he's some like weird animal werewolf dude, and it's stupid. But like, it's not like I'm like into it. I don't know. This reminds me of A Quick Bite by Lindsay Sands and just how absurd it is. But like, I don't hate it yet. I don't know. The rest of the book, they all sound like so stupid. Like, I'm excited to read them. That's where we are in 2020. So there. I'm currently reading a different book in physical that's a historical romance, but the next book I want to start reading is Caressed by Ice by Nalini Singh. This is the 3rd book in the Psy Changeling, and this follows a male Psy and a female shifter. Not a human shifter, a female shifter. So this is the first book in the series that deviates from the male shifter female Psy. So I'm excited for that, and I've heard really great things about this one, so very excited. That's my long rambling update. I'll see you tomorrow. So I just finished How to Marry a Millionaire Vampire via the audiobook. This book was so stupid. I think I'm giving it like 2 stars because like obviously I finished it and like I was interested to keep going. Like that's like these like old bonkers paranormal, like so many stupid things happened that like I can't even put it like besides the like he lost a fang to a sex toy, he has a harem of vampire women that he doesn't actually sleep with because he was training to be a priest before he became a vampire. And they have like mental sex, all those things. The like Russian vampire mob, Russian vampire assassins, the fact that her father was like a CIA guy looking to kill vampires, and that he wants to take human male sperm and put his DNA in it, like all those things. I just kept, like, I was just eating it up, and I don't know. This thing is so, the book is so stupid. 2 stars, 2 stars. It gets 1 for just like coming up with all the stupid shit she did, and then another 1 for keeping me like, into it. I don't know. Okay. Bye. Okay, so let's chat about updates for Paranormal Romance Readathon. So I last shared in a ranty update that I finished How to Marry a Millionaire Vampire by Carolyn Sparks. That took me a while. So that one fulfilled, again, a vampire. I think I've read now 2 vampire books, as well as published before 2010. So I'm currently also reading Caressed by Ice by Nalini Singh. So this is the 3rd book in the Side Changeling series. I'm 64 pages in, and I'm into it. I obviously am not very far in. Not a ton has happened. A lot of like mystery intrigue that I'm realizing these books have like a lot of, and a lot of outside point of views that aren't from Judd and Brenna. That's kind of pulling me out of the story a bit. I really just want to get these 2 alone talking for a bit more. So I'm excited to read more of this. And then as soon as I finished How to Marry a Millionaire Vampire, I started up the audio of Untouchable by Kresley Cole. So this is technically book 8 in the Immortals After Dark. It's kind of like a weird like novella, like longer than a novella. It's like full length. That's on audio and and was included in a bind up, like a historical, a paranormal romance bind up with Gina Showalter. But this is the next book that I'm up to in the Fated Mates reading order, and this follows Murdoch Roth, and I forgot the heroine's name. That's the problem with listening on audio. Sometimes like I don't remember vital information. But this one, the heroine is half Valkyrie, and the hero, the other half of her, she's like an ice queen. And so the hero can't touch her now that he's like now been blooded and has an erection because he's a vampire. It's a weird world. If you know it, you know it. And so they're also trying to find some other like vampire. Things are going down. There's a lot of like sexual frustration going on. It's great. Really enjoying it. And I'm 47% in already. So good. Loving Immortals After Dark. Excited to keep on with it. I hope I can get Caressed by Ice finished very soon. Yeah, that's my update. It's Wednesday, post-election, so all of my fingers and toes are crossed. Do not want to look back on this vlog with bad feelings that Biden didn't win. We are hoping and praying so much. CNN is on all day. I am refreshing and refreshing as votes keep getting tallied in and updates happen. But bright side, I just read one of the best sex scenes ever in Kresley Cole's Untouchable, book 8 in the Immortals After Dark, Icicle Sex. That's all I have to share. That was it. That's the update. Also, you're probably just gonna see every update like while I'm sitting here at my work computer listening to audiobooks. working in my fuzzy sweater. I bought this last year at Target. It's a like 3/4 zip or whatever that's called. And my dad literally, since it's like black, white, and pink, my dad calls it my panda sweater. And if I'm, around the house in panda sweater, I am panda moding. It's a thing. I wore this to an airport last year. And it was a look. But get you a fuzzy sweater. It helps. Yeah, that's it. That's all that's going on in my life right now. CNN and icicle sex. So, yeah. Bye. Okay, so super quick update time. It's Friday, so it's technically like the last day of the Paranormal Romance Readathon. I still have some time and I want to get some more reading in, but I haven't updated you since I finished Untouchable by Kresley Cole. So I really enjoyed this one. So this, I don't know if I ever said who this one followed. So this was, oh my God, am I remembering right? This was one of the Roth brothers. I'm spacing on his name, but I'm pretty sure it started with an M. So this is the oldest Roth brother, and we've seen Sebastian, Conrad, and Nikolai in all the previous IAD books get their HEAs. And this is Malachi? No, I don't remember what his full name was. But he gets his blooding. So he is a vampire who doesn't get an erection until he meets his fated mate. So this book series is bonkers. Highly recommend it. It's always so fun when that moment happens. And so this one is one of the first that really happens while multiple stories are occurring. So Conrad's story, Nikolai's story, and I think Sebastian's are all happening simultaneously around this one. And the heroine of this is half Fae, half Valkyrie. So the Valkyries are like the kind of foundation of this series, I feel like, of heroines, and they're fantastic. And so then you kind of have her being Valkyrie, you get all of the other Valkyries that you've come to know and love. And so they meet in New Orleans, and she's an ice fae, so makes it difficult because she runs cold, and anything that's too hot will burn her, and even his touch. So that leads to some really fun sex scenes, including icicle sex, which was mind-blowingly fantastic. And so thank you, Kresley, for that. I didn't expect that to happen, and it was beautiful. I really truly loved the emotions that happened in this one. And I think Kresley Cole explores something really fun with this, that in most of these books, the fated mates are very intent on each other, even when they're like not wanting to accept the fated mates aspect. There's never like outside kissing happening with like other people. And here's a hero who kisses other women. And because he's never had the desire to, and he's never felt like lust like that because of what he is, the vampire. And we also get a kiss with the heroine and someone of her own kind, and she kind of had never really gotten to experience that either. And so here we have two like very lusty people who were like, she doesn't really want the kiss that happens to her, but I think that was really fun, an exploration for fated mates, because you don't see that. And they break up at one point in this book and come back together. And that like truly doesn't happen in the other books. And I really liked that. I think because this was the first one where like so many other storylines were happening simultaneously around this one that also informed this plot. Other characters. I think this is like truly at the point with this series where like you can't just like hop into this book because there's so much other fucking shit happening around it, and it's hard to kind of keep up with those other Roth sibling plot lines and whatever the Valkyrie are up to and the plot line that's going on here. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I think emotionally this one is one of the better ones that I've read thus far. And so then I moved on straight to the audiobook of Pleasure of a Dark Prince. And so this one follows Gareth McReeve. So he is the king of the Lycae. No, he's the prince of the Lycae. And those are like the werewolves of this world. And the previous Lycaes that we've met would have been Lachlan and Bowen. And so this book takes place during technically the first book, because we're hearing about Lachlan being alive, because Lachlan at the first book is however I've set this thing up. Okay, that's a little bit better. So Lachlan in the first book is being held captive, and so this book he's freed, and so we hear a lot about Emma and him and their story. And so the heroine in this one is Lucia, or Lucia as he refers to her. And she is a Valkyrie, but she is now a huntress, and she's been saved by basically like an Artemis god-like figure. And she has taken like a maiden's vow. And obviously him realizing she's his fated mate is problematic for that. And there's also, I would say, trigger warnings for like rape, and it's not on the page at all, but she's been through something very traumatic for her that almost killed her, and is the reason she ended up going into this huntress life. And I think this book is going to explore that soon. I think I'm only like 90 pages into this via the audio. I am really excited. I really like Gareth McReeve. The Lycae in these books are really great. I'm very excited. Cressley Cole is just like, it's so fun and bonkers, but at the same time just really well written. You can't always say all of that for some of these other paranormal romances that were happening around the same time. And then I am still reading Caressed by Ice by Nalini Singh. I'm 140 pages into it. It's getting better and better as Judd and Brenna are getting together. Judd is an arrow in this series, and so he's living with the changeling shifters, and he's a character who is very unfeeling because of the silence. If like you don't know what I'm talking about because of the series, I'm sorry. And he has a lot of issues with emotion, because every time he feels emotion it hurts him, and it's sad because Brenna is so into him, and she, being a changeling, is so kind of invested in going after what she wants, but at the same time he pushes her away at every turn, and it's this back and forth that's like so delicious to read. But there's also so much other plot going on around all of this, so that's, yeah, I just like want to get some more alone time with them. They had this really beautiful moment alone in this cabin that was, it was great, and it was just like you felt all of this chemistry between them. But I'm just waiting for more of that to happen. But I still obviously am only like, maybe I'm a third of the way in, so it's gonna happen. I'm excited. So hopefully I can get some more reading done tonight, and then I will do one final update tomorrow, and then whatever I don't finish, probably won't finish these, but I will be just kind of folding them over into Love in the Night. So yeah, I'm excited to see up the tally for what I'd actually read through this whole readathon. So yeah, good night. So the Paranormal Romance readathon is officially over. It's Monday. But I'm finally finishing up this vlog. So let's quickly recap all of the books that I read this past week, as well as what I'm currently reading for Love in the Night, which is the vlog that you'll be seeing next week. So I feel like I had a really productive reading week. Obviously you've seen that, but I think while participating, I feel like I wasn't reading enough, and I think it was just like, it was election week. But so yay, we got good news. Biden is our president-elect, and Madam VP Kamala Harris, so happy to be able to say that. I think midweek I wasn't quite sure if I was gonna be able to say that. And so it was like some weeks between work and reading and kind of trying to host community things and being like doing this and Instagram. Sometimes I feel like I can't catch my breath. And that was one of these weeks. Obviously it was also Halloween and my nephew's birthday was this Saturday, so it was like a lot of things going on. But let's get into the reading. So the first book that I finished was The Power of Hades by Eliza Rain and Rose Wilson. Am I correct? I don't know. Obviously here's the cover. I gave this one 2 stars. This was the group read. I need to check out and watch the live stream that they had for the readathon. This one didn't work for me. It wasn't an HEA at the end. It was setting up a lot, but I don't think it was successful in what it was trying to do. Should have been a full-length book, just put the parts together. I don't fully love that like split up a book kind of self-published technique, in my opinion. But alas, I didn't like this one. Then the next 3 books I also read were novellas. So I read Sacrifice by Katie Robert. I gave this one 4 stars. This is a start of a series, so no HEA in this first book, but it does so much more and so many exciting things. There is the vampire mythology she sets up is really fun. Orgasms when they bang. No, orgasms, obviously there's orgasms when they bang. There's orgasms every time they bite her, so that's really fun. MMF, sex, and yeah, I really enjoy this one. So I really enjoy this 4 stars. I'm excited for more Katie Robert. This is only my 3rd by her, so yay. And then I listened to 2 Janine Frost audiobooks that were both a part of the Night Huntress series. I've never read Night Huntress, so I really love Devil to Pay. This is number 3.5, and this followed a demon and a vampire, or a guy possessed by a demon rather, and I thought it was really, really well done and well executed and really sweet overall. And then I listened to Happily Never After, which is 1.5 in the series, and this one was just okay. I gave that one 3 stars and the other one 4 stars, so this one was fun but not the greatest. And then after that, I listened to How to Marry a Millionaire Vampire, which was the most bonkers book I read this time. I gave this one 2 stars. I couldn't put it down, but at the same time, there was just so much stupid shit going on that I was like, what is going on here at all times? It was like a lot. I do kind of want to read the rest of the series. I am intrigued to keep going. The covers and the titles really hook me. Like, I love marketing. And then I listened to the audiobook of Untouchable by Cressley Cole. This is book 7 or 8. It's confusing. It's technically like not a part of the official series, but was like written in like a bind up book. I don't know. I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. It follows one of the Roth brothers and a half Ice Fae, half Valkyrie. If you're like, it's deep in the series now, so it followed like, you got to see a lot of events that were happening in other books fall in this story, so I really enjoyed it. In the middle of 2 books, my bookmark fell out of this one, but I am very close to finishing Caressed by Ice by Nalini Singh. I have like 60 pages left, or maybe 80 pages left of this, and I don't know, this one has been like a really slow read for me, and I think because the pace is genuinely pretty slow on this one. Judd and Brenna are like a very slow burn couple, and their romance is pretty quiet in some ways. There's a lot of mystery going on around them, and because they can't really kiss a lot until quite further on in the book, and they already know each other from the previous 2 books, it like sets up an odd dynamic that like I'm invested in the series, but at the same time I don't think this one was as great as book 1 for me. So yeah, I'm like, I don't know, but I do genuinely really love the character growth that was going on for Judd and Brenna. But yeah. And then I'm currently listening to Pleasure of a Dark Prince by Cressley Cole. This one technically is the book that comes after Kiss of a Demon King, but I read Untouchable before that. I am really enjoying this one. It follows Gareth McReeve and Lucia the Huntress. This one kind of goes back to like Sebastian Roth's book that has that like Amazing Race like weird adventure going on, and I also just really love the character of Lucia, I don't know. He says her name one way and she says her name one way, so it's really funny. And then Gareth McReeve is a Lyke werewolf and he's Scottish, and I just really like the werewolves in the series. And she is a Valkyrie huntress. It's just so well done. Cressley Cole, like, even when I don't love the plots, they're just so, she's just such a fantastic writer. But yeah, that was my week in books for the Paranormal Romance Readathon. So I will see you next week when I talk to you. Hopefully I finish those two and a bunch of other books that are on my TBR. So bye, and I'll see you then.